that seems to have begun actually in South America 56 centuries ago.
56 centuries ago, that's mind-boggling. That's really a very long time ago. So how recent is our habit of eating chocolate in a chocolate bar?
I assume that a solid made with ground cacao beans was consumed by pre-Columbian people, especially in Mesoamerica. But we have to wait until the 19th century, essentially, to get something similar to what we eat today as a chocolate bar.
And if we go back to the beginning and the early history of cacao, tracing its origins is an evolving field, but from what we know at the moment, in South America, how far back might the use of cacao go, and where?
Well, there have been challenges to the Mesoamerican claim to chocolate primacy, and recent research at Santa Ana, La Florida, which is a pre-Columbian site near the town of Palanda in the Ecuadorian province of Zamora Chinchipe, that's on the eastern slopes of the Andes in Ecuador, indicates that cacao may have been cultivated as early as 3500 BC in that upper Amazonian region, and perhaps used to make drinks. Now, the site was explored by a Franco-Ecuadorian archaeological team back in 2002 and 2003, and they found objects that were tested for cacao traces by an archaeobotanist, a woman named Sonia Sarrillo, who works at Calgary University in Canada, and she found traces of cacao starch. She argues that it could be also the starch of a genus called Herania. It's possible. But the thing is, what is fascinating is that some of the traces were found on two beautiful anthropomorphic shaped vessels with very narrow spouted necks, which usually signify that they were used for liquids. And so the starch was found in those two objects. They also found a beautiful object shaped like a cacao pod. It doesn't look like a rania to me. It looks like a cacao pod, and it contained hallucinogenic substance. So this is contemporary to the anthropomorphic vessels.
But I would like to add that these studies have not been confirmed by the analysis of ancient DNA from the samples of the residues related to the starch findings. So until this is not confirmed, I don't know if we could be certain of that hypothesis.
I'm aware of all that, and I just heard that they had done fingerprinting of everything they found, including the object.
Of revenue a day, right? So it's a lot of money. That's 24 billion a month. So that's a lot of incentive to go and become more.
Research.
Okay,
and I think more work needs to be done on the Amazon.
So that's one hypothesis, traces of possible cacao in Ecuador, in Central.
Thanks very much for joining me. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Some other stories now, and the drugs giant GSK has struck deals with 3 companies which will allow them to make cheap generic versions of its long-acting HIV preventative medicine. The move will enable copycat versions of cabotegravir, which is GSK's injected HIV drug, to be used in poor countries where most new HIV cases now occur. Well, among the trio with which GSK is partnering is the Indian drug maker Cipla and the US company Viatris. Well, the move comes after GSK reached an agreement last year with the UN-backed medicines patent pool, which aims to provide poor countries with access to new HIV therapies more quickly than in the past. Shares of SSE have risen by almost 3% after the energy generator said its profits this year would be better than expected. The company, which is the leading owner, operator and developer of onshore wind farms across the UK and Ireland, cited continued strong performance from flexible generation plant to support security of supply. It said that had more than offset lower than planned renewables output, which from the start of April last year to Thursday last week had been 13% lower than planned. And Essential, the specialist information and analytics firm, confirmed plans this morning to break itself up. The company, which originated as the business-to-business arm of the old regional newspaper and magazine publisher EMAP, is looking to sell its consumer insight arm WGSN. It also intends to spin off its digital commerce business into a separate US-listed company. That would leave it focused as a global events company. Well, the news came as Essential reported a widening of full-year pre-tax losses from £39.6 million to £116.1 million, which reflected on-off costs related to the restructuring as well as accounting charges. Well, still to come here on Ian King Live, we're going to have a look at how global markets are doing this Thursday morning. Stay with us. Well, after Wall Street's solid close last night on the back of a raft of encouraging trading updates, equities in the Asia-Pacific region had a pretty solid session overnight. Tokyo finished lower, but elsewhere there were gains for Hong Kong, Shanghai, Sydney and in Mumbai, which isn't on the screen. Well, in Europe, we're also getting a lift from the brighter mood on Wall Street. As you can see, all the main continental European indices all in positive territory, all up by more than 1%. Talking points this morning in Europe include H&M. Its shares are up 11% in Stockholm after the world's second largest fashion retailer reported a surprise quarterly profit. Well, here in London, the FTSE 100 is also in positive territory right now in a broad-based rally, which has seen some bargain hunters nibbling at one or two of the commercial property stocks. So the index as a whole up 2/3%, all among the leading gainers this morning. The commercial property players, the likes of Seagrove, British Land and Land Securities. As ever on a Thursday at this day, you go British Land up 2.75%, Landsec's up by just slightly more. As ever at this time of year on a Thursday, a number of stocks have adjusted lower after going ex-dividend. In other words, they're trading for the first time without rights to the latest payout. Those going ex-div this morning include Phoenix Group, Aviva, Taylor Wimpey and Mondi, all of those lower right now. If you're shareholders in those, don't worry, those are just technical adjustments for the fact that those have gone ex-dividend this morning. Outside the FTSE, the oil services group Petrofac, extraordinary jump there. It's ahead by some 66% right now. That is on the back of a contract win, while the property investor Warehouse REIT, its shares are up some 4.75% following a trading update. We've been talking about the government's energy initiatives this morning. Behind that is one of the major fallers in the mid 250 this morning. Drax Group, the biomass specialist, its shares are off some 5.5% right now, well 6.5% right now. That's after its carbon capture and usage project missed out on getting government funding. On the foreign exchange markets, well, it's all calmed down a bit this week after last week's excitement. The US dollar and the euro are largely unchanged as concerns over the banking sector have eased. Sterling, as you can see, is up a little over 1/3% right now against the greenback. The pound more or less unchanged right now against the euro. The single currency, meanwhile, a quarter of a point higher, quarter of 1% higher against the dollar. As for the oil price, well, that has been grinding higher all week long. That's following the closure of the main export pipeline out of northern Iraq. A barrel of Brent crude will currently set you back $78.86 a barrel. That is up 0.75% on the session. That is approaching the highest level for Brent crude in nearly 3 weeks. Well, joining me this morning is Anna Stupnitska. She's a global macroeconomist at Fidelity International. Anna, welcome to you. Obviously, a couple of weeks of high drama in the banking sector. Really feels like things have calmed down this week following, what happened with Credit Suisse the weekend before last, and obviously the tidying up of Silicon Valley Bank.
Yes, a bit of relief in the market, and I think this calm and encourages some confidence in a way in terms of where markets will move from here. However, we do think that this turmoil is first of all the symptom of the very tight financial conditions, tight policy, and policy is yet to get tighter from what we're hearing. So we don't think that this is over. We think the problems will continue and some other vulnerabilities might arise, and ultimately it will be reflected in tighter credit conditions.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of the issues at Silicon Valley were related to its big bond holdings, and obviously those have fallen in value as a result of tighter monetary policy. Would you expect to see some sort of unwinding of bond portfolios by some of these mid-sized US banks?
I think it depends on regulation from here. Actually, we heard that now there will be a new effort to regulate smaller, or sort of the bigger part of the smaller and middle-sized banks, and so I think we'll have to see what happens. But I think the fact that interest rates are getting higher here in Europe as well, in the UK, means that we are not completely immune from something like that happening again, where the deposit flight might also bring out this stress in regional or smaller banks in Europe and UK.
Yeah, now closer to home we get some of the flash readings for inflation for this month from the Eurozone. We've already had one from Spain this morning. Yeah. Really surprising drop in headline inflation.
Yeah, it's a big drop, really even below expectations, but it is on the headline. It is the energy prices and it's the base effect, and we knew that this is what happened last year, so that's what we see in year-on-year terms. But again, core remains very sticky, and that's what the central banks focus on, and that's why they've been so adamant in terms of tool separation. They want to continue raising interest rates because inflation is so sticky, but at the same time they want to use other tools to deal with financial stability.
Absolutely. Well, we get the German headline number, I think, at midday today, our time. But the market is looking for a decline in core in headline CPI. But as we learned last week here in the UK, I mean, inflation does not go down in a straight line.
No, it doesn't. And again, it's sticky. When we look at the labor market and wage pressures, we look at services, core services, even excluding housing in the US or here, it's sticky. So it is going to be potentially a few more months of sticky inflation. And the central banks, again, are very determined. The markets are looking to the end of the cycle. And they think that the tightening that we have seen as a result of this financial stress or banking stress might actually mean that the central banks will have to do less. And it remains to be seen, so much uncertainty out there.
Yeah, so Annabel Schnabel, who's the German representative on the ECB's Governing Council, made some quite hawkish comments last night, didn't she? Yeah,
she tends to be very hawkish, and she said that the banks are very resilient and there's no deposit flight, no signs. She tends to be hawkish, yes, and very much focused on inflation. They have a range of different policymakers, but it seems for the time being, the hawks are winning.
Yes, a German being hawkish on inflation. Who'd have thought it? Anna, good to see you this morning. Thank you. Still to come here on Ian King Live, a buyout of one of the best-known British names in music as Marshall, the firm behind the best-known amps in rock and roll, changes hands. Don't go away.
Jerusalem is just like any other city you've been to. If that city is 3,000 years old and sacred to three major religions, where an imam, a rabbi and a priest sitting in a coffee shop, it's not a joke. The food is exactly like in any other place that has Mediterranean fusion flavours that you never knew existed.
Can I have the last baklava?
I'm afraid we're all out of baklava.
And hematite over these ritual beverages, and I assume it was a part of making those beverages more sacred, more valued as offerings. Both of those substances are very gritty, and I don't believe that the elites or the royals were consuming their own meals with cinnabar and hematite. It's probably not very tasty. And if we look at the teeth of elites, they have often beautiful teeth. And those teeth are often inlaid with jade or other valued substances. They're not worn down. If they were consuming these gritty substances, their teeth would be heavily worn, which I've seen in populations that are living in other areas of the world where their grinding stones are of a poor quality. So no, I think these are specifically for substances that are meant to be for ancestors and for gods.
Juan Carlos, you were talking about doing a genetic analysis of the various strains of cacao trees, sequencing their genomes. What more can we tell from the information we have now about these trees and how far back they go?
So the sequencing of the cacao genome by Mars, IBM and the US Department of Agriculture enable us to trace back the evolution process of the crop and to find out that the genetic makeup, or we could say the blood of the Mayan cacao, is still present in today's cultivars, mainly in the Caribbean region, but in very small percentage, maybe 10%. And we elucidate the genetic basis of its low productivity. This Mayan cacao, which belongs, as I mentioned, to the Criollo group, one of the 10 genetic groups, is very rarely found in the international market because it's low productivity. And in this article we explain what is the genetic basis of this low productivity. So the domestication itself, we think, started by these pots that were taken from South America into Central America, and domestication in the Amazonia started around 8,000 years before the present era for many species. And basically it's humans selecting and planting the best cultivars.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi, I'm Dr. Donald Palmer and I'm an immunologist. COVID-19 is still with us and making people ill every day, but it's not too late for all adults to book their first or second NHS COVID-19 vaccination. To get these vaccinations while they are still available and protect yourself and those around you, visit nhs.uk/COVID vaccination or call 119. I'm Dr. Donald Palmer and I'm an immunologist. COVID-19 is still with us and making people ill every day, but it's not too late for all adults to book their first or second NHS COVID-19 vaccination. To get these vaccinations while they are still available and protect yourself and those around you, visit nhs.uk/COVID vaccination or call 119.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money
money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820, or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamb Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohinia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. Of darkness.
So what did that
myself and the world just and 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Hi, I'm Dr. Donald Palmer and I'm an immunologist. COVID-19 is still with us and making people ill every day, but it's not too late for all adults to book their first or second NHS COVID-19 vaccination. To get these vaccinations while they are still available and protect yourself and those around you, visit nhs.uk/COVID vaccination or call 119.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it, you're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to
Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there! Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired. Yes! How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness.
So what did that
Myself and the world in jobs.
and 2019? Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Hi, I'm Dr. Donald Palmer and I'm an immunologist. COVID-19 is still with us and making people ill every day, but it's not too late for all adults to book their first or second NHS COVID-19 vaccination. To get these vaccinations while they are still available and protect yourself and those around you, visit nhs.uk/COVID vaccination or call 119.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820, or you can visit our website www.worldlamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@worldlamp@gmail.com. World Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
In your car, at work, at home, on your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9,
striking. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Hey, this is Archie and you are listening to Starr Radio UK and the Morning Show.
Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
Welcome. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Enlighten your day with Starr Radio.
Love for you runs deep. All of you makes my heart beat. You make a doubt they fade. Jesus, and that's what makes you great. You hold the world in your hands. The hand that made me who I am. Same for now, yesterday, and forevermore. And that's what makes you great. You are you will never change. You remember to the end, to the end. You are one who took my pain, took away my shame, Lord, that's why forever call you great. Great are you, Lord. Great are you, Lord. Great is to be praised. Great are you, Lord. Great are you, Lord. Your sons are great. Love for you runs deep. All of you makes my heart. You make it all okay, let me say massive good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth, and those of you on other planets as well. We salute each and every one of you and we welcome you to the Thursday edition of the morning show. To the end, you are one who. Today is the 30th day of March 2023. The time now 10:49, running behind time. I'll try to get all the settings or the setups nicely running for you. But if you're listening to me, let me know how you hear my voice this morning. It's sounding okay? The sound coming from the studio okay? I want to know that. Share that with us as well, and we will make sure that our lovely listeners, wherever you are, you get the best in everything. But I'm saying good morning to my team this morning, Mr. Olayomi Frank, Mr. Frank Davis, and my able producer, Mr. Francis Guy. I salute each and every one of you, gentlemen. To Kojo D, Felix all the way in Aberdeen, and all you wonderful people wherever you might be. Once again, welcome to the program.
All
Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages as well. Anthony Adedeji, Samsudin, Oladipupo, good morning to you and all my wonderful listeners. All protocol observed.
And that's what makes you great.
Okay, let's move on straight to the quote for the day, as we do, and then we'll bring you the weather forecast and the travel update as well. So when it comes to the quote for the day, so if you want to know why you are where you are today, just recall what you thought of and did yesterday.
And that's what makes you.
Your actions that you take today determines how far or how backwards or whatever the result is going to be tomorrow. That's why when I come into contact with any of our youth, I try to encourage them that, look, the best way forward, whatever you want to do, educate yourself, get some education, and then after that, you can empower yourself with every other thing that you want to do. I mean, after you've got the basics, and then you don't want to even go to the university, you want to just go into entrepreneurship or whatever you want to do, straight on, just get in there, or apprenticeship or whatever you want to do. At least you got the basics, so nobody can actually sort of rob you. Okay, so now let's move on straight to the weather front. For the weather in London and the southeast of England, this afternoon we'll see a mixture of patchy cloud, sunny spells, and scattered showers. These falling heavy at times and locally thundery, staying mild and breezy. Tonight it will become cloudy with outbreaks of rain spreading in from the south. Now, this falling heavy at times, the rain will turn patchier towards the end of the night. It's going to be windy as well. Temperature is going to be 16 degrees. The lowest is going to be 11 degrees. Sunset will be exactement at 19:30 and sunrise for tomorrow morning, 06:41 hours. Pollen level medium, UV level medium, pollution low. And that brings us to the end of the weather forecast for you. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. But let's take this quick commercial break and I'll bring you the travel updates wherever you might be. Don't go away. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Hi, I'm Dr. Donald Palmer and I'm an immunologist. COVID-19 is still with us and making people ill every day. But it's not too late for all adults to book their first or second NHS COVID-19 vaccination. To get these vaccinations while they are still available and protect yourself and those around you, visit nhs.uk/COVID vaccination or call 119.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Okay, so keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads. I'll keep you navigated. I promise I'll be on the Starr Radio travel update. I can see every weekday from 10:40. It's now 10:53. Let's move on. Now on the underground this morning, Elizabeth Line, Hammersmith and City Line, Jubilee Lines, Piccadilly Lines have all got problems there. Minor delays to severe delays, so please check before you leave. On the tram link as well, there's part suspension and minor delays happening there. That aside, all the other underground lines, good service, London Overground, good service, and DL are good service there as well. Now moving on to the major routes in London, A24, A4, Central London Red Route, South Circular, A205 has all got closures and A40 has got serious delays. Now on the river bus, good service there. London Cable Car, goods, no service on the London Cable Car. My apologies there. To the final segment of the travel update, that's the National Rail. On the National Rail this morning, Great Western Railway has got minor delays. Southeastern minor delays, and Transport for Wales have got special service. That aside, all the others have got good service. So on that note, as I would say once again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today. But you know what? Continue to keep those eyes on the roads.
Hi, I'm Dr. Donald Palmer and I'm an immunologist. COVID-19 is still with us and making people ill every day. But it's not too late for all adults to book their first or second NHS COVID-19 vaccination. To get these vaccinations while they are still available and protect yourself and those around you, visit nhs.uk/COVID vaccination or call 119.
Okay, welcome back to the program, Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. It's my image buffering there, but just bear with me. Let me see what is happening, whether it is my own that is doing that or as a whole. But whatever you are or wherever you are, just stay tuned. Don't touch the dial. Let me know how you are seeing things this morning on Star Radio UK. Is everything taken along nicely, or is there a stop or anything of the sort going on the broadcast? Let me know. Let me know. Okay, let's take a quick break. I'll bring you the travel update. Stay tuned and don't you go away.
Hi, I'm Dr. Donald Palmer and I'm an immunologist. COVID-19 is still with us and making people ill every day, but it's not too late for all adults to book their first or second NHS COVID-19 vaccination. To get these vaccinations while they are still available and protect yourself and those around you, visit nhs.uk/COVID vaccination or call 119.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Star Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Yes, listeners, it is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now exactly to 6 minutes past the top of the hour. And it's time for Global Trotting. It's time for Global Trotting. Yes, we want to make sure that everything is taken along nicely. That's why you could hear the voice of my colleague, Mr. Frank Davis. But he'll be coming your way in the next few moments. But share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages as well, as I would say all the time. All the time. So now let's crack on. When it comes to stories making the rounds this morning in Nigeria, well, arrest interim government plotters. APC PDP tells DSS. Who are the interim government plotters? Now, we know that the government was setting an interim committee leaders that would see to the transition from Buhari to Tinubu. Okay, though we know that there is a court hearing yes, an appeal that is going on there pertaining to the election results or how the election was run. We'll be telling you more about that. Now, DSS confirms plots to install interim government warns misguided politicians. Who are they? Is it the APC who are trying to get some people in there, but Tinubu is still here, or is it in Nigeria at the moment? Whatever it is, we want to know more about that. Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages. In other stories making the rounds, talks over interim government heightened as Labour Party trash talk DSS. Now and then, Buhari approves appointment of 6 new permanent secretaries in federal civil services. You know, interestingly, when we have presidents maybe going to leave office and then decide that, you know what, before we leave, we want to appoint some people, I ask myself the question, what is that all about? But well, maybe they know what they are trying to do, get their cronies in there before it's too late. Okay then, why didn't they do that all this while? But you want to know more? Stay tuned. Don't touch the dial, because Star Radio UK is going to bring you more. In other stories making the rounds, Tunisian migrants demonstrate outside the UN facility in Tunis. And in Senegal, clashes between police officers and students in Dakar on the eve of Sonko trial. More going to be coming your way from there. Yesterday, I did talk about the pirates hijack oil tanker, capture 16 crew members in the Gulf of Guinea. So coming away from Star Radio UK, a lot more going to be coming your way from there again. Now, King Charles to become first British monarch to address German Parliament in his state visit to the country. We'll tell you more about that. And arrest after men shot dead in targeted attacks. Now, please begin 2 murder investigations after 2 men are killed in separate Cambridgeshire villages. It's one of the stories making, or some of the stories making the rounds here as well. Chris Kaba shooting case referred to CPS. The Independent Office for the Police Conduct has been investigating the shooting as a potential homicide. Well, more going to be coming your way from there when the police actually opened fire on a black boy or young man who was holding absolutely nothing. Okay? And bankers convicted of helping Putin's friend, Salis, who is godfather to the Russian leader's daughter, deposited huge sums in Swiss accounts. Is that what was causing the Swiss bank, bank to actually collapse, and then it was bailed out and all that stuff that is going on? More going to be coming your way from there. It's all coming your way from Starr Radio, okay? And Bolsonaro lands in Brazil after self-imposed exile. Now, it's the first time the far-right ex-leader will be in Brazil since his supporters stormed Congress. Well, they took a leave from that of Donald Trump because he's a Trump supporter, so they decided to go the same path. What about that? Now, nuclear warning from Russia. Nobel's winning journalist Dmitry Muratov says Russia propaganda is preparing people to think nuclear war isn't a bad thing. Now, what is the way forward? Now, Pope Francis spends calm night in hospital. The Pontiff, 86, will stay in hospital for a few days but does not have COVID. The Vatican is saying, is it going to be out for the Palm Sunday? I'm not very sure about that, but whatever it is, more going to be coming your way from Starr Radio. Okay, so wherever you are, stay tuned, don't touch it down. We're going to have Mr. Olayomi coming in, and I hope that Yomi is listening to me and he will put his speaker up this time round. Yesterday he put his speaker down to bring the Niger voices, and I think this morning he's going to put it up so that wherever you are, you can hear me loud and clear. But wherever you are, enjoy this song from the Drive Way Incorporated. It says, Wahini, your kingdom come. Enjoy. Tune this morning for you wherever you might be. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to 4 minutes past the top of the hour. Mr. Frank Davis in the house. He'll be joining us in a moment. But for now, I've got a white lion also who is already in his corner to make sure in our North London studios to bring you everything now you need to know pertaining to what is happening in Nigeria. But do me a massive favor, share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages as well. So now let me cross over to our North London studios where we have Mr. Olayomi Frank, the white lion himself, ready to fire on all cylinders. And let me say, yummy, massive, good morning to you.
Well, a very good morning to you, Mr. Archie. Good morning, Frank. Good morning and good afternoon to all our listeners, depending on where you're listening from. And welcome once again to Starr Radio UK, the 30th of March, 2023 at 5 minutes past 11. And I say good morning, okay, to you, Mr. Archie.
Yes, morning. How are you doing, sir?
Well, a little bit, worked up, after, I think I've been sleeping. My sleeping pattern has been kind of changing. I'm not too sure why. Maybe because we are always excited to know what is happening. So, when you think you are sleeping, you might probably think that. And I think I got, it's not just myself. I was listening to a podcast of Elon Musk, and he was asking, what does he do when he wakes up in the morning? He says, I grab my phone to see if there's any kind of a break-in news. So, and I think, especially because there's a lot happening around us, and around the world. So for some of us that are, in this industry, we just want to be sure that, everything is working, around the world. But sometimes we know that everything is not working as we might want it. I was listening to you, regarding, Pope. We give him kudos with his age, and we hope, he can get back on his feet. You look at so many other areas as well. But apart from that, we're back again, and I'm doing very well.
We thank God. We thank God. Listeners, Mr. Olayomi Frank in our North London studios. Archie here with Mr. Frank Davis. Frank will be joining us in a moment. But let's move on to, what was discussed yesterday. We were talking about the amnesty report pertaining to Nigeria. And that was the main discussion on the Niger Voices. For those of you who don't know, Niger Voices comes your way every Wednesday, 18 hours British time. Okay, when I say British time, so whether it's GMT or whether it's summer time, it is British time. All right then. And it just gives you detailed stories or insight into the current issues happening in Nigeria. Yesterday it took place as well. There's been an amnesty report that was a bit bad for the country. But Yomi, what was said on the program?
Amnesty International gave us a kind of a breakdown to some of what we have been discussing, for some time. But the only difference is, it gives, the background to the report on Nigeria rather than the report, from different part of the globe. A couple of things that, and this happens on Niger Voices. If you've missed that episode, you can watch it again on the replay on the social media of the Starr Radio UK, whether on the Facebook, the YouTube, or Twitter, or through our, website as well, which is, www.starradiouk.com, and you can find, all the details of the program. The program comes up every 6 p.m., which is some kind of a, to get those that are in Nigeria, because the 24 hours clock sometimes, could mess up people that are not used to such. So it is 6 p.m. local time in Nigeria. We're running the same time now. Yesterday, the report gave the humanitarian and violation of international law, whether through the federal, whether through the military, whether through the, the government in the state level. So almost all the states in Nigeria, including the FCT, had a kind of a report that can have impact on the human right violation of individuals, of people, even up to the Boko Haram. They still have their right under the international law. And it seems that, the federal government and the military have not respected that right. I mean, even if we might say, the terrorist organization are not something that we should, allow a right. But again, as long as Nigeria is still a sovereign nation and is still part of the United Nations and different laws around the world, they still have to abide by those international laws. So let me give you a quick, critics of summary of some of those reports quickly. It won't take a lot of time. Violation of international human rights law. that failed in his responsibility to protect people from various abuses committed by the Boko Haram and the ISWAP, as well as unknown gunmen. According to media reports, at least 6,997 people were killed in 2022, and at about 6,157 people were adopted. And as I speak to you right now, 56 people have been adopted again in Niger State. We're going to talk about that. Also, there's about 2,000, internal people that have been transferred. The Boko Haram are still operating in Nigeria, and likewise the ISWAP. So let's move swiftly to, the 10,000 pregnancies, without the consent of individuals involved. There was a report by Reuters that the Nigerian military had conducted a secret forced abortion program in the Northeast in 2013, and that ended 13,000 pregnancy without the consent or prior knowledge of the women and girls concerned, which could amount to war crimes and crime against humanity. Let's talk about the freedom of expression and association and assembly. On the 13th of January, the government actually lifted a 7-month ban on Twitter after President Muhammadu Buhari posted something to remind the Biafra that I hope you remember that what we did to you, during the civil war, between the government and the Biafra then. And Twitter thought, this cannot be allowed. That tweet was removed, and the federal government of Buhari thinks it's still in the military era, decided to ban Twitter, and that went for 7 months. Remember that there's a lot of Nigerians that are making use of Twitter, for small little businesses and transactions, especially those that have, followers, whether they are skit, comedy, or whatever. But 7 months, Nigerians suffer the freedom of expression and association. Let's take you back to Zamfara State on the 16th of October. The government actually shut down 5 media outlets for broadcasting an opposition party campaign. Imagine that conservative says, we will shut down Starr Radio for supporting the Labour Party. That is exactly what happened in Nigeria. Let's quickly talk about the activists and protesters. The government continued to clamp down on protesters. On the 5th of April, Mubarak Bala, the president of the Humanist Association of Nigeria, was actually sentenced to 24 years imprisonment for a post on Facebook alleged insulted Prophet Muhammad. El Rufai, the governor of Kaduna State, banned religious protests in the state. On the 27th, let's go to Akwa Ibom State. Mbene Effiong was prisoned without trial for 1 month. Let's talk about our own. Omoyele Sowore, prisoner of conscience, and Olawale continue to face Trump-up charges. Let's talk about journalists. On the 21st of March last year, journalist Agba Jalingo has spent 179 days in the custody in Calabar. Daddy Yati is still missing since 2019 as well. 5 people from the People's Gazette were arrested in Abuja following alleged defamatory report on the publish of the Chief of Army Staff. Let's move straightly to different arrests. Do you know that in Ibadan, or your state, southwest Nigeria, 40 protesters were kept there after 2 years of the EndSARS? And it goes on and on. Gloria Okoli was kept in detention, believing that she's a spy working for the IPOB, known as the people's, the indigenous people of Biafra, for 150 days. They also talked about the young girl that was killed by the Lagos state government, during the Yoruba Nation protest in Lagos state as well. Enforced disappearance, excessive and unnecessary use of force, extrajudicial execution. Nigerian security force had killed at least nothing less than 122 people in response to the increased violence and killings of their officer in the southeast. Forced eviction. Indigenous people homes were destroyed in Abuja, left about almost thousands of people, homeless. Right to life and security, and it goes on and on. And the question also is the children's right. More than 1,776 school children had been adopted, and guess what? 20 million Nigerian children are out of school as we speak today. Starr Radio UK, that is part of what we discussed yesterday. If you've missed it, you might want to go back and watch it. It is quite elaborative.
Yes, and I can tell you that if you were on the platform and looking at the comments and everything that people were putting across, you know that, well, given the chance, the African is capable of managing his own affairs. But you know what? The chances around pertaining from our own, we ourselves, trying to clamp down on ourselves And somebody will say that, is that kind of democracy that we are practicing? But well, you ask them, they say, well, it's all the rule of law. You want to know more? Stay tuned every Wednesday for the Niger Voices. Okay, now let's move on to some of the other stories making the rounds this morning. Starr Radio UK, the Thursday edition of the morning show, 40 minutes past 11. Now, you mean arrest interim government protests? Now, I know that Buhari had actually formed an interim government, or that they will see to the transitional government, But what is this about this DSS? And because we have the Labour Party leader also, bashing the DSS pertaining to this interim government thing that they are talking about. So what is this all about?
Well, if you remember that we have been talking about, the likely that there's not going to be an election, because, there's a lot. And I can go back to my note of February 1st when we actually made a full, program on that. And it seems exactly what we said, on the 1st of February is actually coming through gradually, by the federal government of Nigeria. I mean, the DSS probably is aware of these, or maybe it's just come to their own intel. But I talked about interim government on the 1st of February. I mean, and the question is, what has made the DSS wait up till now to alert Nigerians about that? If I could know about these as far back as the 1st of February, and that's about almost 24 days before the election, and it was actually under my number 4. I still believe that there's still going to be a coup in Nigeria. We talked about the insecurity as well. So yesterday, the DSS has now confirmed plot by some individual, no name has been mentioned yet, to install interim government and want misguided politicians. The Nigerian Secret Police says planners want to sponsor endless violent mass protests in the major city to warrant a declaration of state of emergency. The Department of the State Service said the plot is to set aside the 1999 Constitution and install an interim government by misguided political actor. No name has been given yet, but that is the statement that is coming from Peter Afunaya yesterday, and also promised that the secret police will use all its arsenal as it is at its disposal to frustrate such plot. Is it about frustrating such plot, or letting Nigerians to know those that are behind this plot, so that Nigerians can be aware? Remember that we still have the APC government in power. So who are those that wants to install this interim government? Is it part of the APC government, or is it the PDP, or is it the Labour Party? Definitely, for you that wants to install this interim government, you must also be part of the government in the first place, because if there's going to be a state of emergency declared in Nigeria today, then somebody within the caucus of the military cabal is aware of that. I have been talking about the military having meetings with so many traditional rulers across the country, but like I said, it seems the DSS is now acting on what we have talked about as far as 1st of February when we talked about interim government.
Now, interestingly, I'm asking myself the question, is it after the horse has bolted, that's why now that the DSS say, oh, you know what, this is something. But I remember back in the day before the election, when some people were accusing Atiku of meeting some of the military chiefs, and they were saying that he was planning to, they were plotting to maybe have a coup d'etat, overthrow the government. Now, we've not heard anything of the sort. Now, we know that Atiku, that is the PDP, and the Labour Party, are not happy with the election, the way it was all conducted and everything. And they are, we saw a few demonstrations that took place earlier on. We have the NLC that is also plotting to also go, yesterday would have been when they were calling for a mass, nationwide sit at home or strike.
Protest.
Yeah, protest. Now, all those things didn't happen. Is the government just trying to use this sort of an intimidation method to stop people from coming out to, actually say what is happening to them? Because if people are looking at insecurity, looking at the scarcity of the naira, which we know that as of now, still people have not gotten it, and people doing the transaction and they are not getting it through. Is it a plot by the government by using the DSS to clamp down on such people who want to air their voices or make their voices heard?
Well, the reaction on the social media has been mixed match, and like you said, we know that immediately after the election, the PDP embarked on protest. Peter Obi has not actually embarked on any sort of protest, but most of what he's saying is they have to go to the court. my question, is that if the situation that the DSS is aware of this protest that is going to lead to chaos, then that has literally now justified the Yoruba people that they are not part of these, because remember that the Inspector General of Police actually pinpoint the Yoruba movement as those that is going to destabilize the country. So, but they've not come out to say that is not happening anymore. But from the information that the DSS has released yesterday, it is now definitely that there are some internal cabal within the internal cabal. Remember that the Naira redesign was also a plot to destabilize the system. As we speak right now, that has not yet been resolved, but we will have to wait and see. But in as much as the DSS says they've been able to hatch this plot, so definitely maybe we are not going to see that happening, or maybe we still have to wait and see if on the 29th of May there will be a transition of power from the same political party but to the new president-elect. But as of today, he's still nowhere to be found, even though yesterday was his birthday. But there are a lot of different rumors out there. Some say it's France, some say it's in London, some say he's gone to Lesser Hajj in Saudi Arabia. But what we can say is, even Showore was asking, where is the president-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu as of this morning?
Well, he might be resting in his nice apartment or house in London or wherever, is it? Let's Starr Radio UK. But does that mean that the DSS is not going to allow any protests at all? Is that what they're trying to do now?
Well, the Constitution does not give the DSS the power to stop any protests. Under the 1999 Constitution, people have the right to peaceful gathering. But I think what they're more concerned is if this protest is not going to lead to chaos, and that chaos would force the government to declare a state of emergency. And if we have a state of emergency declared, definitely there's not going to be a transition of power in May, which is 2 months from now.
Now let's look
so
at
how they're going to balance that is what we don't know.
We don't know.
I don't know how they're going to balance that by saying we shouldn't go out for the protest for those that wants to do so. Remember that the TUC and the NLC has given again the government 2 weeks from yesterday. So we have to wait and see. But
I don't know. But I was asking, looking at the APC itself, do you think that all of the sects in there are happy with the outcome of the election? The fact that they have Tinubu who's won. I mean, a few of their senators have lost their seats and stuff like that. But are they happy so that we know that the APC is together and they want Tinubu to lead them? Or
well, the APC is divided. There's no doubt about that. The APC is fully divided, but they're trying to manage that division, as we speak right now. And we saw that played out, very well during the election, especially the presidential election, because a lot of them, believe that the president is being misguided on some of the steps he has taken, especially when it comes to the redesign of the Naira. But the headline I've just picked up right now, just to to buttress that, Ngige have just come out to say kidnappers are on break. I don't know whether he's still in Nigeria because in Niger State 56 people have been kidnapped. He says the kidnappers are on break. Terrorists on holiday. Ngige allowed the Naira redesign. I mean, these are the Minister of Labor and Employment that should be dealing with some of the reason why people wants to go out on protest. Spoke on one of the mainstream media yesterday. The Minister of the Labor and Employment, Chris Ngige, says the Naira redesign policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria achieved some benefit as it curbs insecurity, vote buying during the 2023 election. The minister, admitted that implementation of the policy was not smooth, but the Ngige said the policy is not smooth in its implementation. I admit that, but whether it is good policy, yes, it is a good policy because terrorists have gone on holiday, but probably maybe as at the time he was speaking, but I can confirm 56 people have been kidnapped by the terrorists in Niger State.
Some of these politicians, they speak as if they live in another planet. They don't know what is actually going on there. But it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now let's come to one other story from here. Buhari's regime are begging Ireland for assistance in internal security. I mean, we talk about insecurity in that part of the world, and then they are now calling for Republic of Ireland to come to their aid. I remember back in the day when Buhari came to power, I think they tried to buy some helicopters and some from the US. Now, we don't know when that came in, whether that has helped, because from that time, things have been worse off. And with this Labour, Minister for Labour Affairs or whatever, also saying that, well, kidnappers and all those terrorists are gone on holidays because they cannot get a new... It's all crazy. But, Yomi, why have they gone now, Buhari now going to leave office, gone to Northern Ireland or getting some help from Northern Ireland? Republic of Ireland.
The Interior Minister Raufo Aregbesola, that assault Ireland cooperation on the internal security. Under Raufo Aregbesola, we've seen multiple prison break, even though the report from the Amnesty says innocent Nigerians during the protests of the NSAS were kept in the prison for 2 years, but also they did mention that 68 Boko Haram terrorists were let loose during the break jail in Kuba in Abuja. But and you ask yourself, the minister in the statement, the ministry spokesman Afonjajibola yesterday made the request when the Irish ambassador to Nigeria, Peter Ryan, actually paid a courtesy visit in Abuja. Mr. Aregbesola said that because of the ministry desire to strengthen internal security, he felt the need to establish the National Institute for Domestic Security in the Council. All this institute, all these project doesn't seem to be working, because under this minister, we've seen more jailbreak than we've ever seen in the history of Nigeria.
Well, maybe I think that Northern Republic of, I don't know why I'm saying Northern Ireland, because Northern Ireland is part of the UK. So now Republic of Ireland, maybe I've got to admit, I've never heard of any jailbreaks in Republic of Ireland. So I don't know what he really wants to do on that part. But well, listen, it is Starr Radio UK. Now 26 minutes past the top of the hour, and let's come to Ohanze praising Afenifere for revealing true position of February 25 presidential election. What has been said? What has the Afenifere said about the presidential election?
Well, there is a divided social cultural group, we have to say, because one has actually endorsed Bola Tinubu, while the other have endorsed Peter Obi, and I've been reading about them in the last 24 hours. Let's first go into the headline that we have. Two different headlines coming from the Afenifere this morning. The first one that you talked about is the Ohanze praises Afenifere for revealing true position of the February 25th presidential election. The Apex Igbo Social Cultural Organization, Ohanze Indigbo Worldwide, has allowed the Pan-Yoruba Social Cultural Organization, Afenifere, for telling the world the true position regarding the election on the 25th. Ohanze said it was not mindful of the Afenifere role in restoring democracy to Nigeria through the platform of the National Democratic Coalition, NADECO. Ohanze said Afenifere leaders with alliance across the national divide and international bodies launched the National Democratic Coalition during, after the election of the late Chief MK Abiola, and that led Nigeria into a lot of crisis. But coming back to the other headline here as well, Afenifere recognized Tinubu as president-elect, not Peter Obi. Former Pan-Yoruba group leader Fashion Roti tackles the successor Ayo Adebanjo. Fashion Roti, the immediate former Afenifere leader, added that the organization only recognized Tinubu of the All Progressive winner as the last election. The chieftains of the Pan-Yoruba Social Cultural Organization, Ruben Fashion Roti, has actually deassociated himself from the position taken by some of the members over the emergency of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Fashion Roti, the immediate former Afenifere leader, added that the organization only recognized Tinubu. So you can see that it's a divided social political organization, from one supporting Tinubu and the other thinking that it's a fair system to allow the Igbo to become the next president. But that hasn't happened, and Tinubu is still the president-elect according to INEC.
Well, we know, as far as we are concerned, we know that there is a petition hearing, court hearing that is going to be taking place, and we hope that whether justice will prevail is another thing, but some way, somehow, we'll hear something that will appease all sides. But again, when it comes to the law, evidence is the game. Do they have the evidence to back whatever they are going to say? Well, Anthony Adedeji, good morning to you once again. I hope you are doing very, very well. It is Starr Radio UK. It is, my apologies, this is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's go back to Yomi for the rest of the stories. Over to you, sir.
Once again, 30 minutes past 11. A very sad news for one of the actor, a Nollywood actor, has now reportedly lost his first son, Kambichuku Edochie. Edochie loses his 16-year-old son, according to the report. The son died 2 months after he was celebrating his 16th birthday with the wife, Mary Edochie. Yul had on January 4th celebrated his son's birthday by his verified Instagram handle, saying, "A very happy 16th birthday to my first son. May God lead and protect you always." But it seems that something has gone wrong. Meanwhile, confirming the news of his death, a family spokesman was quoted as saying that Kabichuku died today. After his exam in the school, he joined his mate to play football. He developed a seizure and was rushed to the mother and child hospital, but all effort to bring him back proved abortive. May so rest in peace, we say from Starr Radio UK. Let's go straight to some of the other headlines quickly, and then we go straight into what is trending on the social media this morning. The Christland school principal orders arraigned for manslaughter. Again, negligence of the school when they went out to enter asphalt and the stadium that they were using somewhere in Lagos State in Agege. One of the students eventually got electrocuted, and she died before anything could be said. But it seems now that the Lagos State government have now arranged Christland School, Okpebi, its principal, vice principal, and 2 employees over the death of one of the school pupils, 12 years old Whitney Adeniran. The school workers who were arraigned before Justice Oyedamola Ogala of the Lagos State High Court in Ikeja, Ademoye Adewale Kuku Fatai, Mrs. Belandi Amor, and Natwuta Ugochi Victoria and Christland School Limited. The defendants were arraigned for 2 count charges bordering on the involuntary manslaughter, reckless and negligent act. Here in the UK, if you're taking the children out of the school premises, I remember that each time we drop our children to school here, when the school door is not open, they are not allowed to get in. And the reason for that is because of their own safety and because of the insurance as well. So, but from the moment that you hand over your children to the school, then the school has the responsibility. And that's why some schools do not even allow children, especially when your children are having a birthday, to bring in food from outside, because they're not sure what this food could contain. And most of the time, you'll have to do that from the school premises, so that in case anything happens, the school is not held responsible for that. But the question is not just about the school. We should also be talking about the local government area, allowing the vicinity to be used and not up to the standard. And these are so many reasons, that a lot of us keep asking the question, is this country still working with the amount of, intelligent people that we have? When we talk about negligence, these happen continuously. So may the soul of the young girl, Whitney Adeniran, continue to rest in peace, and we hope justice will definitely come true for the family, so that they can have, a peace across as well. Kano APC candidate congratulate NNPP Governor-elect Yusuf, and like I said earlier, 56 people kidnapped from Niger State as well. 34 minutes past 11. We take one more. President-elect Tinubu is resting in France, according to Masari. So those that are close to Tinubu are still saying that Tinubu is resting in Paris presently. Despite several indications that Mr. Tinubu might not be in good health, the political kingmaker turned president-elect has maintained that he is physically and mentally fit to govern. But Governor Aminu Masari says President-elect Tinubu needs more prayers from Nigerians to enable his incoming regime to succeed. We're going to go straight to the social media. Once again, remember to follow us on the Star Radio UK on Twitter as the Katrina Lang continued to go and finish up his his farewell bid to different part of Nigeria. She's currently back in Lagos State, and according to her on her Twitter feed this morning, delighted to have visited the spectacular John Randall Center. Great to see how the center plays a crucial role in preserving the rich Yoruba cultural heritage. I'm sure those that are asking for the right to self-determination will be saying, okay, so if you know that we have this cultural heritage, why then do we still have to remain in Nigeria? But again, that is Katrina Lang there as she continues. While we still, by next month, the new one will be taking over as well. There's a lot of trend from the Labour Party and the PDP, and likewise, Simon Ekpa seems to be trending, and the reason for that is, Simon Ekpa says that the Biafra will have to, well, not the Biafra, but because of so much of the burning of the market in Lagos State, that he believes that the governor and those around are involved in the burning of the Igbo market. He's now asked for a sit-at-home in Lagos State, and that is generating quite a lot of uncomfortability with some individuals to say that he might not have the right to do so. But we would have to wait and see if those in Lagos State will listen to Simon Ekpa, even though most of them might probably not be following the Biafra movement. So that is probably the reason why Simon Ekpa is trending as at this morning as well. Rest in peace is trending. The US dollar is trending. We know that that keeps fluctuating in and out. Ngige is trending. I'm sure we know why, because Ngige believes that the terrorist has gone on holiday because of the new Naira real design. So we're going to now go and look at Nigeria as a whole and see what people are saying on the social media before I come back again to you in the studio. Once again, this is still Star Radio UK. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London at exactly 36 minutes past when we look at Nigeria trending as we speak right now. So Steve Ank wrote, Steve Ank is an economics that write a lot, with different countries around the world. He actually wrote this #Nigeria Watch. Nigeria will remain entrapped in poverty, inflation, and violence for as long as its government is standing. 8 years of the nap time was not enough for President Muhammadu Buhari. He led a flawed election in which his man, Bola Tinubu, became the heir to his throne of corruption. So, well, that is, Steve Ank there. And then let's look at more as well. Dele Ogun, Bojo spills the beans on who Nigeria works for. I believe that is actually referring to Bojo as Boris Johnson. Remember that Boris Johnson was in Nigeria. Maybe we should just listen for about almost 40 seconds what actually Boris Johnson said during his engagement in Nigeria. That is what Dele Ogun is actually referring to. So let's listen to Boris Johnson.
Of introducing Mr. Boris Johnson, the Right Honourable Boris Johnson. Thank you. Well, thank you very, very much indeed. It's wonderful to be here, Your Highnesses. Very, very much wonderful. Very kind of you to invite me. Listening to the speech has already been so terrific. I feel, I don't know about you, I feel rehumanized already. Don't you? And it's so good to be back in Nigeria after an enforced absence. I had to be Prime Minister for a long time during COVID. I couldn't get here because this is such a wonderful country for us. Because this is such a wonderful country for us. Because this is such a wonderful country for us.
Okay. So that is exactly what it means from that tweet there by Dele Ogun, that Nigeria is a very wonderful country for the UK, and I'm sure a lot of people knows that as well. Also, you want me to come back?
No, you finish. You finish that.
And the last one, is also Yusuf Dati actually also made a statement yesterday, and he actually went on to say there is no president-elect of Nigeria right now because the declared one violated the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He actually also went to talk about the Senate president, that the Senate president is actually I'm trying to get the right word he used. If we can get that, I come back again to you in the studio. We see if we can get that before we go, because that is something to listen to as well. Nigeria after the election is just a very interesting one, and we continue to monitor that as well. This is still Star Radio UK, the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Well, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Frank in our North London studios. I'm Archie here with Mr. Frank Davis in the South studios. Now, Yomi, is Boris in Nigeria? When did he visit Nigeria?
Well, he actually went to Nigeria a few days ago. I'm not sure whether he has returned back, but he was in Nigeria to attend a particular event. And as we all know, Boris, coming out of the vehicle, has to keep talking in and all. The same Boris that we know here. He hasn't changed. But I think what they wanted us to hear from that is just that the relationship between the UK and Nigeria is still very good and very strong.
Yeah, but he didn't make any comment pertaining to the elections at all, did he?
Well, he did make some, but like I said, I think what they wanted us to hear from that was just that little bit. But he did make a lot of reference to the election as well. But as we all know, Boris Johnson, has always been the same Boris we know as a mayor of London, becoming the prime minister. The COVID, having a lot of party while we were locked down, and he actually said that he couldn't get to Nigeria due to the COVID as at that time, but he was able to add a party at the back of number 10 Downing Street Garden.
That is the safe zone. Well, now Fani Kayode pertaining to Fani Kayode in the past was alluding that there was going to be a coup d'etat. Now he's saying that he's been vindicated by the DSS.
Well, you're right. When Fani Kayode, a very, very controversial man himself, he actually, even as a few days ago, was saying a lot regarding the Deputy British High Commissioner to keep his mouth away from the Nigerian politics. With so much interference. But you're quite right. He's saying that he believes now that whatever he said then, the DSS has now confirmed it. And just like I said as well, 1st of February, I actually said that there is going to be an interim government. And it seems that the DSS is catching up, or probably, maybe they're aware, they're just probably slowing down. Once again, this is Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station, and I come back again to you in the studio, Mr. Archie.
Yes, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Frank, updates from Nigeria. Now, a quick one other from here then. Is Atiko and Atiko doing everything possible to merge with the Labour Party? Because it looks like he say Atiko is urging the PDP members to deepen engagement with the Labour Party, because had they been together, automatically, you looking at the numbers, they would have won the election hands down. Is that what they are looking at?
Well, it seems that Atiko's ambition is not starting today. Atiko has been trying to become the president of Nigeria as far back as 1993. So he's been around for a very long time, but maybe the dream is not over, or maybe not yet, but he couldn't get that worked out with Peter Obi, and they have to share the two numbers, and it seems those numbers is still something that they have to take to the court. I was actually reading a tweet yesterday that they were finding it very difficult, the Labour Party, to get the petition to Tinubu team, but eventually they've done so now. So there might be the court case starting anytime soon, because they have 21 days from when the petition letter has been dropped to the APC Secretariat in Abuja. So 21 days will probably be by the middle of April, and then we will know what next. So if they don't respond, maybe it's going to be good luck to Peter Obi, but I'm sure they're going to respond, because they already got all the signs ready to defend the president-elect Bola Tinubu election win.
Okay, we'll see about that. Now, interestingly, a Ghanaian musician, I think you will know him. He's known as Shatta Wale. He said that his striking resemblance, his striking resemblance to with Nigeria's president-elect Tinubu. He said he thinks that he is the father, so he should come and take him from Ghana.
Well, it's always been a controversial one rather, between some of our artists in Nigeria. He believes that he's much more better than them, but we'll have to wait and see. But you're right, he's somebody I've listened to some of his music as well.
Okay, well, so according to Shatta, some people have also asserted that he looks like Tinubu, hence he pleaded with Tinubu to come for his child in Ghana. Well, that's an interesting one. Yomi, before you go.
Well, we'll be back again tomorrow, Friday, for the final part of the the week program of the edition of the Niger News Update on Star Radio UK. Remember to follow us on all the social media and I'll be back again tomorrow, God's willing. But for now, I leave you in the good hands of Archie and Frank to take you through the rest of the segment. Have a very good afternoon or good morning, and bye for now.
Okay, bye. Now I'm going to bring you a tune from the one and only Jeanette, and it says Orile Demi. That's my only Yoruba language that I understand, and it means that my nation. Okay, so enjoy that, and we'll be with you. Stay tuned, don't you go away. But again, for those of you listening to us, those who normally watch us on our YouTube channel, God willing, tomorrow morning, I'm sure the Star Radio UK channel, okay, will be up and running. So look out for it. All right then, thank you very much. But at the moment, we are transmitting on the YouTube on Star Radio UK. So you type in Star Radio UK, you can get us live on the YouTube as well. Stay tuned, but subscribe to it so that anytime we are on, whichever channel we are using, you will not miss out on it. Enjoy this tune from Jeanette. It says Orile Demi.
Top dog.
This is Star Radio. This is Star Radio UK. This is Star Radio UK. This is Star Radio UK.
In your car, at work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
This is Star Radio UK. This is Star Radio UK.
Okay, Orile Demi from Jeanette, and that is my lovely Yoruba song that I really enjoy. Yesterday I was singing it at home, and the missus was asking me, do you understand? I said, I understand. It's my nation. He said, all that? I said, yes, in summary, that's what it means. But I hope that you enjoy that tune as well. It is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's take a commercial break, and once we come back, myself and Frank, we're going to be looking at some of the other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. The king of UK or England is in Germany. They say it's going to be a historic one because it's going to be addressing the parliament in Germany. Now, why have they unleashed the king to go to that part, to Europe, because he was supposed to have been in France, but for the strikes and the demonstrations that was taking place there, he would have been there over the weekend, and then today he would have continued to Germany. Now, why is the UK, trying to get closer back to the EU? After all, we said we can do our thing by ourselves. What do they really want? What do they really want? Do they now want to see that, well, we are out, but we can be friends, we can come and eat in your house and we can do all things together, but we are friends, but we are not friends as well. What about that? Well, lots more going to become your way, so stay tuned.
Frenemies.
Frenemies. Frank says that is known as frenemies. We're going to tell you more about that. Well, in Ghana as well, there are some stories making the rounds there as well. Interesting. Now, you look at the way journalists are treated, and especially those who go by doing investigative journalism. And one what do you call it, citizen vigilante in Ghana. You think that, well, if you want to, tell the people the truth about everything that is happening, it's a come boldly, without fear or favor, and just say whatever you want to say. But you think that is a way forward for us? Well, especially when the rule of law. We talk about rule of law, we talk about democracy, but when it comes to implementation of it, we don't actually see it on the ground. What do you think? So coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's take a break, and we'll be bringing you more from there.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Hi, I'm Dr. Donald Palmer, and I'm an immunologist. COVID-19 is still with us and making people ill every day, but it's not too late for all adults to book their first or second NHS COVID-19 vaccination. To get these vaccinations while they are still available and protect yourself and those around you, visit nhs.uk/COVID vaccination or call 119.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it, you're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820, or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamb Shippers, fast, reliable and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Welcome back to the program Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time down to 4 minutes to the top of the hour. That means 11:56. Okay, now let me announce the lines open and then we'll move on. I've got Frank seated and everything. We're going to be bringing you everything. We're going to unleash whatever we have on you, but a good one, of course. Now, if you want to join in the conversation, it's 02081332257 or 58. 02081332257 or 58. If you happen to be in the US, Canada, or the Caribbean area, it is 0017183032737. 0017183032737. You can text on WhatsApp us 0753966174. 0753966174. Our Twitter handle is at Star Radio UK and email address is info@starradiouk.com. All right then, so get in touch. But let me say good morning to you, Frank.
Archie, good morning, and good morning to our listeners, our viewers, wherever they are. We welcome them to another Olayomi, good work done, and all the Nigerians, we say good morning.
Yeah. How are you doing?
Actually, I'm doing very, very, very well.
Oh, we thank God.
Yeah.
We thank God.
You see the number of times I said it very, very well.
Oh, good.
Good.
You are in a very comfortable position.
I tell you, very comfortable lead.
well, listeners, don't you worry at all. We're bringing you everything that is happening in Ghana as well as we unfold or bring the discussion or as we go on with the discussions. But interestingly, we have the King Charles. It's not been sworn in yet, though, but he's in Germany. I mean, and the fact that he's going to address the German Parliament seems to be a very massive thing. People think it's history in the making. Now, when you look at the Second World War, the First World War, the Second World War. Now, these royals that we have here, they are related to the Germans. They are related to the Russians as well. They are virtually related to the Greeks as well. So we see them. It's like you and your siblings growing up, and then it just spread, and then along the lines, the same family you call it, but we become enemies of ourselves. I mean, we saw what happened in the Second World War and stuff. What is happening in Russia, Ukraine now? It's all sibling rivals. But the fact that Charles is there, what difference does it make?
Archie, thank you. From history, we know that the royal family in this country is a political entity. If you look at from the time they fought the wars, how they actually became a state that we know today, an empire, it's all linked to conquest and how to dominate, and the royal family were at the center of it all. So whatever the royal is doing, yes, we might have a separation of powers where the queen or the king is not directly involved in that, but he's the head of state, and therefore whatever foreign policy is being designed, the royal family is actually a tool to soften grounds. That's why they do everything to uplift their image, make them as an untouchable. In fact, the royal family of England is the most powerful institution.
Yeah.
I mean, apart from the most powerful institution, apart from them, you look at Vatican, then you look at the Saudis because of the oil block that they control.
Yeah.
These are some of the most powerful institutions. Presidents bows to them, prime ministers bow to them, and other things.
Yeah.
So basically, that dominance is being used and exploited effectively by the UK government. Without the royal family, the image and the power that UK has will reduce, will go down, will plummet without the royal family.
Okay, interesting.
Without the royal family. Now, if you look at their rule in the Middle East, when there seems to be a bit of agitation, they will send a royal there pretending to go from the queen, who normally will not go that length, wearing a veil.
Yeah.
I mean, wearing a veil. You recall when Ghana had when Akufo-Addo take over, and they were behind discussions. We saw one of the Queen's Charles' sister going there, Anne going there with Tony Blair.
Yeah.
Tony Blair was an ex-president.
Yeah.
He was sent there.
Yeah.
Was an ex-prime minister. He was sent there. And now you see Nigeria, an ex-prime minister has been sent
there as well.
You think that they are coming to give speeches and other things. Don't be surprised when you see royal also following. See what is happening when it comes to the Ukraine.
Yeah.
We saw what they call the Polish border.
Yeah.
We saw what they call a William.
Yeah.
I mean, venturing there a few days, not too long ago. The royal family is actively involved in opening avenue and having conversations that politically, what do you call it, the prime ministers and other, because these are political banters that goes on. They make comments, but you do not see the queen, the king, the royal family getting directly involved. All this, I mean, tussle between China and this thing, the royal family can get involved and stuff, because they say, oh, we were not part of it, we're not this. So whatever he's doing in Germany, the UK know that, I mean, to a large extent, they screwed themselves with Brexit. They also are seeing the impact of what is going on with Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
All they're doing now is to be able to build what they call it, good relationship. How do we solve? Because the royal families of us, they also get involved in politics. You look like Spain, you look at Germany, you look at, all these will have royal institutions that interfere somehow in their politics. Are you getting me? So what if the politicians are fighting? Let we, those who own the land, those, they are the owners
of the land,
I mean,
custodians.
That's it. Let's get involved and see how best we can also strengthen our relationship. And all he's doing now is politics and his business.
But do you think that those Republicans, those who advocate for, let's forget about the monarchy, let's just vote our own leader, after all,
I mean, want to move to republic? It's going to be very difficult. Actually, the moment you move from republic, you risk losing that status that UK has now. Should the UK move to the republic status now, actually, UK is a country of less than how many million? 60 about 70 million. Call it 70 million. We've seen China coming out aggressively. US is up there. Who are you going to be competing with? Well, the Germans and others are there. Who are you? Production-wise, the Germans are ahead of you.
Far
ahead of you. So technology, yes, we know you still do have a lot, but they have some power because of that royalty, the royalty. And I do not think that the Republicans are going to succeed. It's going to take them I don't see it in my lifetime happening.
But do you think that the actions, I mean, let me digress just a bit, by of Prince Harry and those things, I mean getting to the latter part of the year 2022, and is it beginning this year, and all those things that have gone on, people were looking at it that, ooh, they've watched their dirty linen in public, and maybe that thing, that facade that is about them, that everybody thinks, woo, it's gone away. Do you think it's still there?
Actually, when it comes to Prince Harry, I think he's a different cut of fish. Whatever actually he's in the UK now with Elton John and other things. Elton John, in fact, that's right, because when the public stands, or a lot of people stand against his Harry and Meghan, he stands with them to a point where even he sends his private jets to pick them up and other things. So he's been like a father for what do you call it, Harry. And I do not think that Harry, what he's doing for me, should be looked at as someone who is a bit a rebel or something like that they try to portray. Actually, as children, whatever we do, our environment have influence on us.
Yeah.
Whatever we do at young age, the relationship between our father and mother sometimes impacts on us. Not that sometimes it does impact on us. Now, actually, I do not think that even adults, when our dads and mom passed on, sometimes we still do have that lasting memories.
Yeah.
And the circumstances under which this woman died, the mother died, virtually in the hands of the media. Basically, you can call her, I mean, someone who was murdered by the media. This is a guy who was loved, a young boy who was loved, growing up, growing, bonding with the mom, enjoying everything, and for him to know that it is these people who actually bat for these people,
my mom
the
would have
mom
been
was
alive.
And then what he went through within the royal household, none of us know. Between then, when the mom died, do not forget there was a third party in the relationship. Well, that third party has that third party, or the third party succeeded in taking Charles' attention away from the boy, so that even the love that he would have gotten from the father at that time was not there. That he was actually brought up by aides, royal, this way, and basically brought up in a certain way that, oh, if my mother were alive, if my mother, how many times have we, I went to my village recently, something happening, that if only dad were here, if only that, and he comes up and he grows, now becomes a man, and he can see that the same thing is about happening to a woman he loves. Probably throughout his life would have loved only two people. Yes, he might have other girlfriends love, but when it comes to people he now can call family love, or people he loves, the two people I see were the mom taken away by the media, and then the wife now being pursued again by the media. If he loves his children, he would never want his children to suffer the same consequent fate that he as Harry suffered. And I think the royal family should have known that this is a different person who, I mean, had different impact from the death of, I mean, a lot of them saw it just another human being, another woman we brought in who just died. Are you getting me? But for him, it was a mother. He had only one mother and can only call that woman a mother, no other person. Are you getting me? Now you want his children that he so loved to also be deprived of their mother by the same people, and the royal, I mean, basically the royal family, from what he's saying, have not learnt any lessons, or cannot tell us that from what happened to Diana, they have actually transformed, put ABC in place to be able to curtail that. Then I think he's doing the right thing. I will do the same, probably worse. I will do the same, probably worse.
Well, the king has he had people in Germans, I mean, out and about, I mean, waiting, waving and trying to talk to him. So we see that the niche is not still taken away. So a bit is still there. So let's see how it will better, I mean, benefit the UK as a whole. Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. Mr. Frank Davis here. I'm Archie, and we are bringing you the rest of the stories making the rounds on or across the globe. Yeah, a quick one. One quick one from the UK front. I don't know whether you followed this story. It pertains to Chris Kaba, who the police, I mean, pursued, thinking that, well, he has an arm or something. Yeah, got him into a corner, shot him dead, and they found out that it's got nothing. At least, I mean, what I was pleased of there was that the police said that he didn't have anything, because most of the time they would have planned something and said that, oh, this is what he had, but fortunately or unfortunately they came out to say that but he's lost his life. And the Met police shooting case has been referred to the CPS. I mean, do you think it's going to bring about any solace to the family?
Actually, there's nothing, there's no competition that brings back again a loved one. I do not think, even if you give them the whole world, it will replace that same person. But at the point, we need to accept that people have accepted responsibility for their actions. Like you said, one thing that I'm glad when the issue happened, I was monitoring it, was, I mean, the police saying that, well, cameras were around, people were around, witnessed what happened, so probably they couldn't have done that, or probably we have some decent police among them. Mistaken identity, something went wrong. Yeah, they shot the person died, and the person did not have a gun or whatever. We also understand and we know that police are always supposed to discharge life-threatening bullets when their lives are under threat. Because they have tasers, and someone will even have to argue now that some of them have to be carrying rubber bullets so that people do not die. Although rubber bullets to some extent can also harm you. But I am of the view that now that the police independent are stepping in to investigate it, is good. We do not expect the police to get it right all the time. We know we're not getting 100% situation where at each point in time their response to certain things are 100% right. It's a question of judgment. They pick up an intelligence or something like that, and probably they say, okay, this person is a risk to the society. At the end of the day, we should also know it's not every police officer that is armed. It's only a special unit that is armed. And for them to move into motion, certain things should have been placed. So now, the good thing that we do know in this country, when reviews and investigations are done, we see corrective measures that are put in place, which means that the next person, the next victim might not be, so unfortunate. Yes, we're not saying they will not kill someone, but certain reviews will take place. How did you start? What was intelligent? How come you identify him as a suspect? How come you pursue him? Who brought that information? Would you have questioned this information? Would you have done something else? All those questions will come. You look at again what the police are confronted with on a daily basis. Yesterday I saw a video, and even this morning it's on BBC, when a motor rider is being sought by the police. He was wheeling on one. They said the police have to stop pursuing him. At the end of the day, the public again have gone in. Why did they allow him? Why didn't they pursue?
If he had crashed, they would have blamed them as well.
Because the police could have pursued the guy and what do you call apprehend him. But at the end of the day, he was taunting the police. He was doing everything, and the police have to leave him and then record a video, publish it that we need. Well, one who asked, could they have deployed an armed, basically an unmarked car, to be able to throw the guy, drive slowly as if it's not a police car, and then pounds on him once he gets to a safe place or something like that. Those are some of the reviews. So actually, yes, as much as we have to condemn the police on some of these things, they can't get it 100%. One thing I'm happy is that at least the police have identified that they were in the wrong. The guy, not like what we see in US where they plant drugs and do this, they were in the wrong. Now they have to review, and I think the family, Ghanaians will say Yako, they've lost a loved one, but at the end of the day, I think good compensation will be given.
Okay, listen to Starr Radio UK. Now, one other story that we can leave the UK. A rise in the state pension age to 68 will not be brought forward yet. The government is to announce. Now, those born on or after April, the 5th of April 1977 will be the first cohort to work to 68. I'm not part of it. After, no, I was before. Now, under current plans, 2017 government review suggested expanding this include to those born in the late 1960s. The Work and Pension Secretary is expected to tell MPs on Thursday that now is not the time to make the change. Why are they changing their mind? Because of what is happening in France?
Actually, partially, I think that could be. But again, actually, some of these pension stuff were as a direct result of, the life expectancy that was going on. But over the last few years, we see life expectancy reduce. If you take the UK, for instance, the other time I was saying it, our life expectancy has reduced by 4 months. Within the last 4 years. The question here now is are we going to see a decline? because we know economically people are getting a little bit poorer in this country. Stress level are increasing. People are now becoming more deprived than they should be. So at the end of the day, all these things are resulting in health complications for people, a lot of health issues. We know NHS as we speak now under pressure, and therefore even ability or the access to NHS is becoming a problem, or some ailments and other things you have to wait longer. So the intervention measures we know are under stress, and therefore all these are combining to actually reduce our chances of living longer. Now if we're going to be living shorter, why then do you want to prolong how long we work? And other things. So all those who have to also go in and know that what is happening in France, I think, is something that is also informing them. People are now, what they call savings are gone. Is it the right time to increase that? At the end of the day, when we can pump billions into Ukraine war, are you get me? We can pump billions to. I was laughing, for instance, when I heard this news publication. That Kamala Harris is giving $1 billion. They're giving Africa 100 million. 100 million for over the next 4 years or something like that. I call it nonsense. Because at the end of the day, these are people who can print billions and say they are supporting Ukraine. If you really care about people and you claim you care about that, you should not what do you call it? You should not be telling us that that's a peanut you're giving to a whole population that is all they're interested in is trade. All they're interested in how to control. All they're interested is to kick out China, which is going to be very difficult.
Well, listen, let's start ready. Okay, now mentioning Russia and Ukraine war. Now we have several times where we have Putin saying that, look, if you do this, I'm going to use the nuclear. I'm going to use the nuclear. And Dmitry Muratov is a nuclear, saying that the nuclear warning from Russia's Nobel-winning journalist. He is talking about the fact that he's trying to conscientize the people and set a new mindset that, look, the next level of warfare is going to be nuclear. He says that the Russian authorities may have shut down his newspaper, but journalist Dmitry Muratov refused to be silent. When we meet in Moscow, the editor-in-chief of Novaya Gazeta and Russia's Nobel Prize laureate is worried how far the Kremlin will go in its confrontation with the West. He's talking about the fact that this nuclear thing, they are hyping it. It's hyping it too much, and we might end up there. What do you think?
Actually, at the end of the day, look, we are not far from nuclear weapons being used. I do not think we are far from it at all. Where I see it and from what is going on, when conventional war is out of, when Russia thinks that they're going to come and they're going to be wiped out, what do you expect them to do? As we speak now, they are developing. I told you the other time that it could be, if you look at what North Korea tested the other time. Russia just announced they are basically upgrading those nuclear assets to be able to cause tsunami. They throw it under the sea, it wipes out the whole you all
get flooded. We didn't kill you, we kill you.
We didn't kill you. The river, the sea kills you. And if you look at the way they're moving their asset, and again, we're not seeing the West actually letting down anything. We haven't built up of more arms. We have military jets being sending. Poland is sending military jets very soon. If UK does not have the mind of sending jets over there, they will not be training the people.
Pilots,
are you getting it? And you then ask yourself, in all this, what's the end game? You want to defeat Russia. That's all you want to do. You want to collapse Russia. It is. It's the same wars that were fought before. Now this is a time Soviet Union must go. Finally, we succeeded in carving a lot of countries out of it. It's not the USSR that we knew, and therefore now we cannot destroy it and make it become a liberal country like the way we want, so that our companies can dominate that, take over. That's all it is. Actually, that's all it is in this game, and I do not think that the Russians are going to sit down for that to happen. Now there are two levels of nuclear warfare. There are tactical nuclear warheads that can be used contained in certain geographical areas. That is what I see happening I mean, not too far from here if we continue this trend. If we don't take time, like I told you, my one-way ticket is ready. You always make sure you have fuel in your car.
Where will you be driving to?
At least you head towards the worst. If you can cross to North Africa, at least. So would that be ready? If not, then you have to go to South Africa and learn how to fly with the broom. Probably that might help. You know, but actually we edging closer each day to a point where we see what I call tactical nuclear warheads being used. I'm not. Here we are, UK sending what they call shields that are made with they call it tank piercing something, which the West is saying, hey. But you see, anytime the West make a move and the others say, no, you've gone too far. Oh, the media over here rubbishes it. Oh, they are making that's an unfounded noise. The same thing that we're told when the threat of expanding NATO to those countries, the same thing we're told. It's nothing. Forget about Russia. This is what has brought us to this war. Here again, they are saying if Russia sees that they are under threat, actually, I will not be surprised. We'll get there.
Do you think that there could be, because when things like that happen, we get what do you call them? Okay, we do get some internal people who think, I mean, they are not thinking the same way that Putin might be thinking. I mean, we got even in Germany during the Second World War, Hitler, he had some people in his camp who didn't like what was going on. Some flew out of the country to go and negotiate stuff and lie, and people attempted his life. I mean, do you think we're going to see anything such?
Actually, even kings and queens during those battles, that history talks about. We always see people within trying to basically, derail whatever is going on. Even Hitler had attempts on his life. I mean, there's no war that has been fought without a commerce within that same group trying to. You're not going to get 100% support from even the independence struggle. You never had 100% support. We had people who thought that by now we should still be under colonial, although effectively we are under American control now, because as we speak, you see in Ghana we have deployed an IMF advisor to the World Bank,
to our central bank, sitting there,
and then we have also America has also now deployed an advisor to the Ministry of Finance. So effectively
we are being controlled by them.
Because the financial net, whatever our finances are, is now because to some extent it's good, because what they're looking at is that elections are coming. Are we going to see what happened in 2000 to the year 2020? Because we know 2020 the COVID money that MPP used it, distributed it to their what they call their MPs, their regional this, and I'm not saying it, the MPP themselves, I mean, I don't recall to have been saying that those who received those money, I don't recall to have said that this out of the COVID money, this what was allocated to them, and that's why accountability as to what you're doing with the money, what you do with the money up to date. Even when the Auditor General published a report, we had Attorney General coming in telling the Auditor General not to make that report public. That tells you that basically the institution, the political institution in Ghana had a hand. So to some extent it might help. But effectively what we are saying to ourselves is that we are still being dictated to, being ruled economically by America. So actually Russia, we expect that a lot of people within will not like that. Do not forget, some of them have a lot of assets, interest in the West, and you either have to shout loud that you are against what they call it Putin for you to be safe, or making a comment. So some of them it's just like they go to church, we are singing hallelujah, although you don't want to sing,
but you are in the congregation, so you have to join the song.
So some of them might be singing those tunes not because, and some of them are receiving huge monies to be able to go against. Some of them are being funded to be able to mobilize from within. You get me? Because we saw what happened in Hong Kong, for instance. I mean, from what we understand and the evidence available, a lot of money was sent from the US to Hong Kong to mobilize some of those activists to dissent against the government. So actually we're going to see this coming from Russia as well, and some people in Russia.
Okay, let's see dissenting views there. or divergent views. We'll see what happens on that front. Now, Bolsonaro has landed in Brazil after self-imposed exile. Now, after the election, he said that he had a tummy, whatever, decided to go to the US. His people, his supporters, again invaded, just like what happened in the US. You know, Bolsonaro, he is a Trumpite.
Yeah.
And so he decided to, use the same template. But my question is, do you think Bolsonaro should be put on trial? Because they were calling him, like Trump as well, to call off his supporters from whatever they are doing. But he didn't. He didn't.
Archie, the promise, what we know is that he was cited and finger pointed as one of the architects of what went on. The president, Lua, promised that Lulu, promised that he will deal with that. Let's see what happens. It's not going to be easy, but because he also has supporters, sometimes discussion goes on behind the scenes before the person arrives. But if that is not what is going to happen and he's going to be arrested, we'll see how it goes. But again, what is happening in Senegal tells us that when the people have support, they sometimes see their leaders as Jesus, Savior, and therefore touching them becomes a bit of a problem.
They think that it's a no-go area.
And some of this, again, like we were talking about Russia, information will be coming from within. It's about how you process that information, the credibility of that information. That's what is going on. But before we go from there, let me add, when we're talking about Russia, we're talking about how Russia is clamping down on people who are speaking against it. The US did the same thing. You will recall that the military officer who actually gave information to Julian Assange to be published, what did they do to him? What did they do? He has to run. Are you getting it? Why are they looking for Julian Assange?
Because he has information.
The US pretends to be a democratic country, but when some people also publish information that is damning to the nation, they go hard on them.
But Frank, that's where people will say that, look, like we are sitting here knowing it, because they do that, government did whatever, and we can tell them that no, that is wrong. You can't do that.
But they tell you and you get arrested and you get killed. Do you think it's everybody who talks that is alive? Why will US be pursuing that ex-military officer? Why would they be pursuing him? If it's democratic world, allow him to publish information. He said they let him release information freely, but they will not. And you expect Russia to allow people to also just say anything? No.
So when we talk about, let me call it autocracy and then democracy. Now we're talking about democracy, the big democracies in the world, where we are saying that when people come with diverse views, they are stamped upon and everything. Now then we come to authoritarian regime, like what is happening in Russia. So this is what Putin is saying, and so how do we match that? How do we marry? To blend it all nicely. Which one would you even prefer?
Actually, democracy. In fact, I want to understand what again democracy is, because whichever way you look at it, democracy in the UK is practically different from democracy in the US, and it's practically different from democracy we see in Nigeria. So, for me, I look at it. We're gonna look at the culture and the people to determine a system that is fit for purpose in that country. I do not think we should be taking as is practiced in the UK. I like it. You don't get 100% of it, but actually, I do not
better than what is in the US.
In my view, is kind of better than what is in the US. Yes, they vote, they do this thing, but you do not see some of these entrenched positions. Humanity is always at the forefront of what they do. You look at the gun culture that is happening in the US. Now, their democratic system is such that the government, Biden for instance, cannot ban gun use. They can't, because certain governments or certain states have their own laws that have to ban it. They want to look at the gays and the transgender. They say some countries are withdrawing, some countries are. But in the UK, when the parliament takes a decision, they put the humanity first. We put the common interest first. And that's why if you take gun laws, for instance, Their street rule, it doesn't matter whether it's Labour, whether it's Republican, whether it's this thing. You look at the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court in the U.S. is controlled by what they call the Republicans we speak.
Yeah.
And again, what do? This our anti-abortion rules, our this.
Let's push that through.
Let's push that through and using democratic rules. You look at Ghana, the same thing. So when we're going to be talking about democracy, you tell me what happened in Nigeria, what happened in Ghana, where people were killed just trying to express themselves, voting in queues and other things. You tell them that I should endorse that, because certain coups do not result in the death, loss of life for those number of people. So in my view, yes, democracy is good. It gave us the opportunity to be able to express ourselves, which is great. But if we're going to see the kind of thing we saw in Nigeria and label it as democracy, then I think it will not be fair. Let's look at systems that are fit for a very unique situation, and Nigeria deserves a different system. I think Nigeria deserves
a different system from what is being.
Yeah, they need a different system, and I will be looking at what they call it a consultative assembly kind of system for Nigeria, instead of wasting our money including voting, buy beavers and other things that will end up, because the question is this thing that we've done, that we're calling it what do you call it, voting. What is the end result? The beavers that we spent money on
wasn't used.
What is that? Those money. Because at the end of the day, if you look at Nigeria election, we've just wasted money.
Yeah.
And all of us should be ashamed that we've actually caused financial loss to the next generation, because the loans and whatever money we
400 billion
into
naira
is waste. Because at the end of the day, we cannot see. I mean, the benefit we cannot see, because if the beavers were supposed to do their job and they've not done their job, or people deliberately stop. I saw some empty. They took the beavers and there was no machines in. They've actually taken the machines and then they've taken empty buses to go and showcase that is it. So in my view, democracy will have to be looked at strategically, and we'll have to look at which country are we dealing, and it has to be case by case basis.
Listen, at Starr Radio UK, as if we've digressed a bit, but we bring you everything, discussions, making sure that you understand what is going on in the system. There's something that I've been advocating for, and I talk about humanity, like you did say that when it comes to the UK system, it's a humanity which is on the top. And every time, whatever you use that to,
I give that
as a yardstick to be marking whatever you are doing. Now, I look at the former Libyan leader, the late Gaddafi.
Yeah.
I look at the way he decided to govern. I mean, his system where there were representation. There were some people who felt that they were being marginalized. Okay, it might be a minority of people, but some way somehow they thought that they were being marginalized. However, if you look at the bigger picture, you see that he developed the whole of the country. Okay, so that people there. I mean, I remember a doctor, one of my surgeons who did this in a process on me, and then it was from Libya. At the time, and he, I mean, they were chatting, and then he was saying, "Oh, he wants to just go back." I mean, so you see how proud he was about his country. So I mean, they are top hooks. Before they decide to come and live here and then do all sorts. But if you look at the way he dealt with those who didn't agree with him, which is the minority, do you think that is a good way of governance? Or when we bring democracy in, and then you have somebody come in, you look at the system in Ghana, look at the system where people are there in their villages, can't get water to drink, wholesome water to drink, and people are living, I mean, wasting state funds in doing all sorts. So I look at both and I ask myself, is it that whatever it is, authoritarian rule? I mean, you look at in South Korea, they started like on authoritarian rule because they needed to push the agenda for the whole people to come on. So some people, there will be some people who will be wronged. But I look at them and I ask myself, do we still stick to that, or just say because of democracy, let everybody have a decent voice, say whatever they want to say, and then we get on?
Archie, you see, if you implement a system and you are implementing a system for people, in my view, it is how the people over there are feeling, how they're benefiting, and how it's impacting on their daily lives. That is the real test for the system that you have implemented. It doesn't matter whichever theoretical definition you gave it, whichever way you spin it and other thing. The real test is when you do the impact assessment of whatever system or policy you have implemented. Now let's go back to Libya. Prior to what we do have now, what we call democracy.
Yeah.
We know, yes, it's not a united country as we speak. We almost have about three governing structures. Those in Tripoli, those in Benghazi, and those in the Sirte area are actually governing differently. I mean, they are accountable to themselves. The French again are backing the Benghazians, and the UN is backing the Tripolians. Now you look at that and you ask yourself, if I'm a Libyan, will I say my life today is better than it was a few years ago when Gaddafi, that system was being implemented? I think that survey will determine whether, and most of it, I have no doubt at all that people would have preferred what it used to be. It was a peaceful country. I mean, we understand, for instance, yes, someone was at the top, but at the end of the day, we have people, if you are a couple, you're given a 2-bedroom. Basically,
you get married, they give you an apartment.
There was a kind of a social safety net. As if someone tells me that is not a way of redistributing wealth, then I don't know what it is. Because in this country, we do have social safety net for the more vulnerable. And if someone is telling me that, yes, that was not a kind of social safety net, and it wasn't a kind of redistribution of the wealth that was created or generated from within the territory of Libya, then I don't know what it is. As we speak now, what have we succeeded in doing? Plunge the country into difficulties. Here, calling it democracy. And as we speak today, we know the benefits that the people used to enjoy, they can't have it now. The oil industry has been taken over by the West because they need contractors over there to pay them. So all those guns and other things that they have to pay. They want to pay themselves. So again, what is democracy if it is not to benefit the people? In my view, I mean, the system Libya, and that's the system for me. Nigeria now, I would prefer for Nigeria. Because you look at the structure of Nigeria, you look at structure, it's no different. We have strong tribal leaders. You see the Yorubas are congregating against their leader, their leaders. You see the Igbos are congregating. Yesterday, I happened to be in North London and I met an Igbo man. Archie, people are so, attached to their tribe to a point that they think they've suffered injustice for long. And therefore, if you want to convince them to let's come to one Nigeria, they say, no. Like what you said, let Nigeria not be
happy to you.
Happen to me. Are you getting me? So at the end of the day, could we have a consultative assembly for now and push it up? Again, I heard you talking about Buhari trying to seek advice from Northern Ireland. Yes, because of the internal. But you see, what informed the troubles in Northern Ireland are far different from what informed. You see, the similarity that you will be seeing over there will be the Hutus and the Tutsis, the Rwanda situation. Because there were certain things, 2 blocks that were basically pushing the agenda, and that resulted in outcomes. Again, you look at Northern Ireland, the same template that you do. But when it comes to Nigeria, it's a different ballgame. You have tribes, you have Igbos pushing the agenda, you have the Yorubas pushing the agenda. But you see, their call is not the same call that the Protestants and others or the Catholics are. No. That is it. Their calls about resources, the utilization of resources. Are you getting me? And again, the troubles that you do have with Boko Haram. Boko Haram have not said they are Yorubas or they are Igbos or they are Hausas.
They are killing anybody that
they are killing anybody around their way, even murdering Muslims. Are you getting me? So there are different scenarios altogether. You know.
Well, listeners, it is Star Radio UK. 12:39 the time. We've got about another 21 minutes to bring the program to a close. Wherever you are, if you want to join in the conversation, feel free to do so. We'll just take a quick commercial break. We'll come back and we are on the African continent. We'll look at one story from the what do you call it? Tunisia, and then we'll come to Ghana as well. So wherever you are, don't touch the dial. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Dr. Donald Palmer and I'm an immunologist. COVID-19 is still with us and making people ill every day, but it's not too late for all adults to book their first or second NHS COVID-19 vaccination. To get these vaccinations while they are still available and protect yourself and those around you, visit nhs.uk/COVID vaccination or call 119.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Welcome back to the program. It is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. I bring you the time now to 20 minutes to the top of the hour. That is 20 minutes to 1 here in the UK. Okay, so now let's move on to some of the other stories making the rounds. Now, Tunisian migrants demonstrate outside the UN facility. Now, we had Tunisia's President Said making a statement pertaining, actually painting black Africans as the criminals in that particular part of the world. Now, we know that he's been having a barrage of or attacks from his own people. He dissolved parliament and he's doing all sorts there. Now, to go to that extent, like Hitler did, again, when you see that you are not being able to manage your country very well and you want to get the support of the people, just turn and just point out that these are the ones who are causing it. And hell has been unleashed on black Africans. Now we had even Tunisians, black Tunisians, who are being chased from their house. But for the UN, we've not heard so much from them because to actually make a statement against it.
Because they are black Africans. Simply, they are black Africans. You see, Archie, we need to understand who we are on this earth and be able to come together and toe different lines. The Tunisian president, like all other leaders, politicians, especially when they are in difficulty, they try to divert attention. In this country, it's the same thing. Like every opportunity to divert attention is there. Look at Richard Sunak. He want to publish his tax returns. He published them on the day Boris Johnson is talking. You look at Brexiters. When the the UK government was under attack, they were not performing. People were crying. What did they do? They divert onto Brexit. Every blame game is Brexit. If you look at our own President Akufo-Addo, every blame game is Ukraine and COVID and Ukraine Russia war and COVID. So at each point in time, the only people who did not, or the only leader who did not blame other external forces that I think I might be right is the South African leader. When it came to the way they were attacking the blacks in that country, they stood with the blacks against their own youth, saying what you're doing is xenophobic and homophobic. They said it's not good. They didn't blame them that they are the cause of youth unemployment. The people think that they were the cause of the youth unemployment. What the Tunisia president is doing, in my view, is fighting for his own survival, trying to blame others as those who are the cause of the problem. But actually, the real question we do ask, and I'll continue to ask, what at all is AU doing? Archie,
just a tea party,
what at all is the AU doing in this country? We do know that even when human rights abuses come in, we do have European Union stepping in. We do have the European Court of Justice sometimes stepping in. What at all is the Organization of Africa doing? AU, what are they there for? The African Union, what are they there for? Because it seems we cannot safeguard our own people. There's no interest. We do not value humanity. That's the bottom line. We do not value human. We see them as just numbers. Especially in this world of digitization, it's going to even be worse because you always going to be known by your digits.
Yeah.
Not by your name.
Your name is. Yeah.
I get me. We do not value humanity. If we value Africans, by now, the union would have been sanctioning the Tunisia leader, but they allow him to make those threatening comments against fellow Africans. Actually, I'm disappointed, to be honest with you. It just tells me that, look, Tunisia is not a country I should ever dream of visiting.
Yeah.
Now,
Tunisia, Morocco, whoa.
Country dealing with Morocco should be cutting ties with them. They should be cutting ties with them. We should have the ambassadors of Tunisia in every country now being summoned to explain. Are you getting me? I mean, the consulates in other countries, they should,
But our people are not doing that. They are not thinking about it, just repatriating them, and then that's it. Because they'll go for the AU conference or whatever, and they'll go and shake hands and be pals with them. Meanwhile, they are doing this to your citizens, and they think that is okay. Wow. Sad one. Starr Radio UK. Now, clashes broke out on Wednesday at the University of Dakar. Now, I'm scared of what is happening in Senegal because it's just a matter of time. There could be a military takeover. Because, I mean, we've seen it in some of the other French-speaking countries, okay? And Senegal, with everything that is happening there, where the president has decided that, well, after an amendment in the constitution, which he's run his first term and is running his second term, he said that, well, the first one has quashed what I was supposed to do in the past, and therefore I have the right to run another one. And he trying to put, opposition leader, before the courts for whatever crime that he thinks that he has. So you think that what is happening in Senegal, we're going to be seeing another coup d'etat there?
Actually, some coups should be welcomed, and I think it will be one of those coups that I will welcome. Not because I love guns, not because, but sometimes our leaders decide to take our people for granted. I do believe that what is going on, look, we're gonna respect the rules, but again, you come to Africa Union and then you come to ECOWAS. When Ouattara did it, West Africa,
nothing was said.
There's a fine template over there. These are tea drinking colleagues. Ouattara, how did you do it? Okay, let's change the constitution, and that will mean that because I ran under the last constitution,
this is a new one.
This is a new constitution, so a new regime, a new paradigm, and therefore you can. I mean, it's nonsense. Actually, my full support is with the Senegalese. They should go demonstrate. Even if they have to sit over there for long hours, years to come, they should. And this is a testing of their resolve. And I'm disappointed though, because this is a man, Sal is a man that we thought was going to be very reasonable. They all get in there and then
they change.
You look at even the Gambia.
Yeah.
I mean,
what do you call him? Adama.
I mean, again, a gentleman agreement was reached. You were put over there. You got there and then began.
I changed.
Are you getting me? And that's the same thing that we've seen in these countries. I feel disappointed, but actually, this is a test. I would support the Senegalese. They should continue. They should do whatever they can. They should push. If there has to be a military over there, so be it.
That's when I really want the outside world to actually come and make their voices heard, saying that this is not right. But nobody seems to be saying anything.
Outside world has no business over there. You see, it has to start with ECOWAS. Look, what is ECOWAS? Kofi Ali, what is your organization doing? That's the first question.
Helping them.
What is ECOWAS doing? Because ECOWAS, when there was a coup, Akufo-Addo and others were quick to go and say that, a democracy, demo nonsense. Is it democracy that you get in there? And that's what I keep on saying, that look, if MPP had won a majority in parliament, Akufo-Addo would have done the same thing. Could have done the same thing. They were told, oh, the free SHS, every Ghanaian wants it. This is a man who says he didn't know that people were against free SHS until he decided one day to watch Joy FM. And that's why he knew that he got to know that he was a position against what they call free SHS. He thought every Ghanaian was happy. So in his world, he thinks that
everybody is happy, everybody is cool.
Yeah. And that's why for me, even the kind of democracy we're facing, we need to change it. I think I would prefer a prime ministerial system.
Yeah.
Where the president gets told exactly
what the legislative wants
and then what is happening. Because what happens in parliament, we shouldn't take it for granted.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the president must demonstrate, the prime minister must demonstrate that they have hands-on approach. They know exactly what is going on within in the country, because they are asked questions about subjects that a lot of them, if it's in our country,
they might not even know.
Because they shield the people in like a shield. You can't see the outside world, you can't hear from outside there. We only bring you print media that is covering whatever is good. We present you report that we want you to read, but the leaders themselves do not. Look, the other time we were having a program and there was a question about one district, one factory. The president thing, he's succeeding with that. But the real look, in my area, a ginger factory was supposed to be built, right? The sod was cut, announcements and other things were made. Actually, as we speak now, the place is becoming a jungle. A billboard is still there. On paper, the president thinks that a ginger factory is ongoing somewhere over there, but it is not. It is not. Prime ministerial question time. The MP from that area would have had the opportunity to put a question before the prime minister. You see, this executive presidential system that we practice when we do not have institutions. That's the key.
Yeah, that's the problem.
We do not have institutions that are accountable, that are independent enough, and that are responsible. And we do not have a judiciary that is very transparent and independent enough. Look, yesterday, what do you call it? Chachi Shukata made a comment. I 100% agree. He said, if we think the economy has collapsed, or if we think what is going on within the economy is bad, what is going on within the judiciary is worse.
Wow.
So if you think the economy is bad, the judiciary is worse. Because they are within the system, they've seen lawyers, they've seen systems up to date. These are people who have consulted from a lot of countries in building their judicial system. But here we are, it's collapsing under their watch. I get it. So again, we come to democracy. What sort of democracy is fit for purpose for Africa?
Well, if you bring in the prime ministerial system, they knowing that it will be checked, they will tell you that no, we don't want that, and they will not table it. But again, that's the question. When Buhari, people are calling for a change, a review in the constitution of Nigeria, he was saying that, well, take it to the Senate and let it be done, knowing that his party, they've got majority, and therefore there is no way that will be debated. So it's crazy.
Yeah, that is it,
All right then, we are in Ghana now. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, with the time now 8 minutes to the top of the hour. Now, information came through, a few days ago when Senator made a statement that if my dad was still alive, he would have made people or like government appointees or MPs sworn on Antua to get into their offices. Okay, but we knew that at the time he left office before his demise.
Yeah.
And then we've had a banter from one Nana Akumia saying that, did your father ever visited Antua? Virtually saying that he couldn't have forced that, or maybe that cannot stop people from doing the wrong. But I know people do all sorts, and they will tell you that, well, nothing can happen to them. But do you think, again, on our governance system, because we don't have the institutions to actually check, because if the institutions are working, robustly, we wouldn't need to be talking about all this. Accountability will be there. The statement that Senator made, do you think that there's an element of truth in there, and what can be done to, if not, to bring about a bit of a change?
Actually, we know Rawlings is someone who was more traditional. He believed in the power of the traditional system. Was one of the first churches, or he was very close to Okomfo Damwa, Africana Mission Church. He was also a member of ARS, Apostle Revelation Society, which has his headquarters around in Volta region. And you know, also for Okomfo Damwa, I mean, the way he works. We know again, Rawlings, when he was being accused, he told them, look, you lawyers, we and I, he challenged them to go and bring chemical tests or whatever. At one point in time again, he told them, look, let's forget about this Bible, because we look at the Bible, we know we are going to lie, and we make a mockery of the Bible, what we swore by. When we go to Parliament, they all sit down, they pray and do this. And look, Archie, Akumia is asking whether that will work. Have we seen? I saw one picture today, one video. In fact, the police today, today's news in Ghana, they've arrested 5 people. Is it 3 people?
3 people. Yeah.
Having to do with people shooting guns.
Yeah.
Here we have an individual wearing a dress, and they are shooting at him, and it's not going through. If you tell me they don't exist, or those power do not exist, I mean, the video saw it. A gun being shot at someone, and the bullets are not penetrating. Yes, I understand certain criminals and armed robbers go through these rituals and other things, but actually, this is the evidence of something that is working. You have fake pastors within the system, the same way you have fake traditionalists within the system. I've had a personal, my own friend was accused of something he knew he didn't do. He has to go and paint a whole shrine. He's still alive today. So again, the
bring it on.
You have, so Archie, I do not think Zenato has said anything different from what the father would have wished or would have expected of her, because we know the father always mentions some of these things. But truly, Archie, let's examine ourselves. How come that even pastors are afraid, fake pastors are afraid of the power of those traditional things, to a point where some go for them to come and do church? How come that in every community, when we come to Antwerp, we come to Clayco, we come to some of these things, we are more afraid than the Bible? Are you getting me? We are more afraid of the Bible than the Quran. So at the end of the day, if he's challenging them, I mean, Kokubo has always said that, look, why don't we get this or swear on the Bible? Let Kofi to come and swear them in.
They won't come. You say we are Christians, eh? We are Muslims. We don't do that.
I watched a video the other time in Ghana again. There is a guy who has stolen mobile phones from his friends, and they curse him. Actually, the guy was walking, trying to enter his room with some of the mobile phones. The guy got stuck. He can't move. He became a rope. He got stuck.
Oh gosh.
He couldn't move. Frozen.
Wow.
Frozen. So I'm not saying, look, I don't get involved with them, but I do not discount their power, because even the Bible that I worship acknowledge they exist.
Oh yeah.
And for me, whether you like it or not, if God says I created heaven and earth, whatever is beneath, on it, and above the earth, then even these things are created by Him. That's the way I look at it.
Okay.
Because if not, I'll be defiling the Bible and saying you created some and another person created some.
The devil created that one. Quick action.
But he created the devil.
Quick action.
He created the devil. As I said, he created everything, good and bad, and he looked at it and said it was good.
Yeah.
He looked at it.
And the good and bad said, it's good.
It's good. Good and evil. He looked at it and said it's good. You need to choose. That's why he also told us you need to choose a path that you want to go.
Yeah.
So I don't think Zenato has said anything wrong. But to what extent have we, abused?
Yeah, abusing of the system. Abusing. And
are you getting me? Someone sits there and swear on a Bible or Quran, and they know from day one even what they are saying is a lie. You do not go to Nogoko and do that. You can't do it.
I remember back in the early 90s, and then I went to Adafo. We went for an Easter convention that at Church of Pentecost, and then I went there, and then so we moved around the town.
Yeah.
And the guys were saying they don't shut their doors in the night. They don't have locks on their doors. And I was like, one thing trouble. He said, no. Because they have all their nobody would there.
Come in if you are a thief.
You just put there some nice right there. Nobody will tell you.
You see, Archie, and again, you see, you then question yourself. Listeners, let's move a little bit from it. Look, you ask yourself, is it that the Bible is not potent? Is it that the Bible is not effective? It is not that it's not effective. It is the people you are asking to swear on that Bible. Do they believe in it?
No, they don't.
You see, because at the end of the day, those who go to this tradition and other things, they believe it need. They believe it works. They believe it to deliver for them. They do whatever they have to do. They follow the rules. So if I am going to be asked to swear the Bible, do I even believe in the Bible I'm swearing on? Do I even believe in the Bible?
I think I'm going to put a clause in there. When they're swearing in the Bible, you say that if I fail, may thunder strike me.
At the end of the
they will say that one has to be taken out.
No, they have. You see, you need to because the people do not believe. Actually, you can walk into a nation and do whatever you want to do. Not you, provided you observe their rules. You don't believe in it. So look, dine with them when they are dying if you believe in them. Right? If you don't believe in them, that's why for me, where I sit, I've seen the potential of some of these things. I know how they work. I think I've told you always, when I used to be in the northern part of Ghana, I've seen it working. When the Kukumba and Dagomba war was raging, I was in the northern part of, I've seen some of these things. So actually, my own grandfather, he was a warrior. I've seen some of these things. Someone who can just take a cutlass, a machete, and cut a wood, and ants will become like a bridge. Charlie, actually, you cannot cross. That's what they used to. That's what they do, because they used to fight with their neighbors. He used a distance. They cut a wood, and as long as that cutlass is there, and the ants, the red ants, will form a huge barrier.
You can't cross that.
You can't cross that. So at the end of the day, actually, I've seen it work. I've seen it in action. Me, I can't obey the rules.
So
I don't want to
there.
get involved. I do not want to get involved, actually. I really do not want to get involved. I mean, the Bible it's either I believe in it or I don't believe it. But what we see a majority of us take the Bible agile the way we hold our phones. Even we respect our phones more than the Bible. We say we are Christians, but we just take it because it's like fashion.
Religion.
It's fashion.
We are out there.
Let me call myself. So where do you belong? I'm a Christian. It's fashion. People who have not been to church, who have not observed the command of thou not forsake the assembly of this thing, will also tell you they are Christians. Are you getting me? So
they are undercover. Secret agent. Wow.
I don't think Senator has said anything wrong at all. I think if that's what it will take, let's do it.
Okay, Frank, we have to bring the program to a close. It's gone 2 minutes past. So what do you want to say before we go?
Actually, yesterday was it Zambia? The vice president of Zambia heard a press conference, was it 3 days ago, addressing the incoming what do you call it, Kamala Harris. And again, it was about a gay agenda. At the end of the day, we also know the gay community is applauding our president Nana Akufo-Addo for showing that they love. I do believe that Akufo-Addo, now that he's here, he return the same without carrying some pampers.
Wow.
Sister Jinalate, good afternoon to you.
Okay, listeners, this is where we have to bring the program to a close, but don't you worry, tomorrow we're coming your way once again with another edition of the morning show. But this afternoon, lots of music going to be coming your way, and of course, we're bringing you the NHS time exactly at 5 p.m. to make a date with us. Well, we are still on the different screening process. Procedures in the NHS. If you have not got yourself screened in any way, shape, or form, and you want to do so, make your appointment and go get yourself screened. Okay, our kind, we never, especially the women, when they have to go and do the breast screening, they don't want to do it. They wait until somebody is diagnosed of an ailment that becomes untreatable. But please, when you are invited, make sure you go there. Okay, God gave that one to us well. He said they were all good. What about that? All right, then. So on that note, we want to say thank you very much for joining in. Enjoy this song from the Root Riders. In a Bob Marley song, it says, "A small axe, yes, and I will hew down that big tree." What about that? Stay tuned. And when that song ends and you don't hear from us, it's me, Archie, Mr. Frank Davis, Mr. Olayomi Frank, and the production team saying, have a top of the day. Bye bye for now.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Thanks for listening.
Why boast ourselves, oh evil man? Playing smart and not being clever. Oh no. Achieve vanity, yes. If I saw